Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Now the title says, what should a Black American say to a rude African immigrant? There seems to be a universal belief by many that Black Americans ought to be proud and happy that we live in the United States of America, the greatest country on earth, they say. So we shouldn't say anything about reparations. We shouldn't say anything about police brutality, mass incarceration, the wealth gap between Black and white Americans, housing discrimination. We shouldn't say anything about disparity in education, the fact that people are coming over here and living off the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors. We just ought to be happy. We live in the United States. These people have no idea what the history of the United States is and the fact that Black Americans were the major players in the creation of this empire. So they ignorantly come here and say, we're spoiled brats. We don't deserve reparations. We ought to shut up and be happy we live in this country. Now, who's doing the talking? A lot of this is coming from these Black immigrants from failed third world countries. Yes, I said it. They come here as runners, which means they get everything they can from their countries. A lot of these are Africans. They take everything, they take all the resources they can from their African countries, and then they come to the United States thinking that they're doing something big because they got a job in the United States, or they are here as refugees or illegal immigrants. So they are glad to be here, but one of the troubling things that they bring with them is a negative attitude towards Black Americans. And it is indoctrination. And sometimes when we come up against it, we don't understand it. They resent Black Americans. They have these built-in stereotypes about Black Americans being lazy and on welfare. Well, nobody is lazier than an African immigrant who fled their own country to come to somebody else's country to gain benefits from that country because they didn't work hard enough in their country. Because there are people in Jamaica, in Nigeria, in Ghana, all those countries that they're running from. There are people in those countries who stay there and become millionaires because they have a strong work ethic, they are disciplined, and they have a positive attitude toward their country. And nobody is receiving more welfare than African immigrants. I don't care how they came here. They're still here on the mercy of the American government and the American people. Tax-paying Americans like Black Americans, they're here on our dime too. And we need to make that clear every time this conversation comes up. They are welfare recipients. I don't care if they came here with 3 PhD degrees. They're still benefiting from the tax-paying system of America and the hard work that was done before they got here. And that needs to be made clear. And one thing I will say before I move on, anytime Black Americans get into a discussion with these immigrants, and I don't call them tethers, but you really do need to take a page out of Tariq Nasheed's book. And no, he's not my idol, but I respect people who do the work of Black Americans. Tariq Nasheed will not get into any discussion with any Black person or anybody else on social media that he doesn't know without finding out what their lineage is. Black Americans are going into these chat rooms and going into these discussions, which I think Black people should stop doing. Having these discussions with these Black immigrants and you don't know their lineage. And when they tell you where they're from, you need to hit them up right away with the fact that if they're in the United States, They are on welfare and they are lazy. They were too lazy to make their lives work in their own country. I don't care what the circumstances are, because there are still people in those countries that are making their lives work. But they didn't want to make the sacrifice. They wanted to run here. They're still benefiting from our taxpayer dollars, and they're getting welfare and debit cards, then going down to City Hall talking about they needing more free stuff. But then they have the audacity to call Black Americans lazy, or you're on welfare, or you're getting food stamps. And check this out. I got this from Amazing Lucas. Check this out.
Don't say nothing. Just give me your black card, bro. Just give it to me.
For what?
You in a room full of white people, and you the only black nigga there.
There's only one white person in the room.
They turning you to an Oreo, bro.
You said a room. You said give you my black card.
Yeah, give it to me, bro.
Yeah, you mean your fucking food stamps? I'm a Congolese person. I'm not one of you street American black hobo bitch, bro. Okay, don't get it mixed up. Okay, you could have just came here, been nice. We could have a cool conversation. I'm not one of you black Americans. Moi, je suis Congolais. Je suis prince du Congo. Tu me connais pas, alright? Don't put me, man. I'm not one of you.
Well, your boy, he was being mean to me. If that's the case.
So I don't hold anything against this little Congolese kid or whatever he's calling himself. I just think Black Americans, if you're going to get in a conversation with somebody like this, you don't know his lineage, you need to already know what to say to him when he starts his smart ass talking. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to try to educate anybody. I'm not going to try to fix anybody. I'm saying you need to know what to say. But the best thing to do is stay away from these black immigrants unless you have vetted them completely, you know them, and you know where they stand. Because it's a waste of time. It's insulting to watch something like this, but this is instructive for Black Americans. Whenever a black immigrant comes at you like that, you need to let him know right off the bat. He's the one that doesn't work hard. He's an immigrant. He's from the Congo. They're in a civil war. They're enslaved over there. Those black people are enslaved. These American corporations are going over there and take that mineral, I think it's cobalt or lithium or something. They're taking it and working those Congolese kids for 3 pennies a day, if anything. So he doesn't have any conversation to a black American. And he's sitting up there with an Indian kid and a white kid. Now, the white kid, I didn't see him saying anything, but there's the Indian kid clapping him and egging him on. Indians don't have any respect for Africans. And from what I've been told, and I haven't been to Africa, probably won't ever go, but black Americans who go to Africa say the Indians, the Pakistanis, the Lebanese, the white people, everybody treat those Africans like dirt. But in the United States, all of a sudden, he's got a full chest running his doggone mouth. That black American kid, it seemed like a nice kid, just playing around with him. But he should have known what to say to him. You are a beggar. You are over here on the backs of black Americans, begging, getting free stuff, and still living in a dump, by the way. I'm saying black Americans need to move a little bit more cautiously now, because we have people over here that you think you would be an ally with, but you can't be. Those people are brainwashed to the teeth. Most of them are not worth your time. They need to have the real American experience. He needs to be put in his place. And if he stays here long enough, he will be. Nobody cares about him being from the Congo. They don't see the world the way we see the world. We understand who's ruling the world, and they just want to come over here and get enough to have somewhere decent to stay. I'm pretty sure he thinks he's living in a luxury apartment in that dump he's in. So anyway, I'm on a rant now, because we have to stand up for ourselves, and you have to teach your children to stand up for themselves. Now, I say, are black Americans spoiled brats? No, we're not. We're Americans. And we have to stop seeing ourselves as Africans, because they don't see you as an ally. They don't see you as one of them. And they are definitely not one of us. They haven't put anything into the building of this country. They haven't suffered anything, and they haven't sacrificed anything. So you're not a spoiled brat. You're just an American, and he is a beggar. And that is how they need to be treated when they come out of that bag like that. Now, I'm expecting y'all to come in and correct me. I'm on a rant, but I mean what I'm saying. But I can still take criticism. So don't be afraid to criticize me, because this is how I feel. You have to know where to draw the line with people, and you have to be willing to put people in their place. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know. Bring it on.